In the unyielding void of space, I encountered a warship that defied every law of nature, a colossal enigma pulsing with alien energy and secrets too profound for mortal comprehension. Its gleaming silhouette and intuitive maneuvers promised not only a battle against ruthless foes, but also a revelation that would upend everything we knew about existence. Standing at the threshold of this impossible marvel, I realized that what lay ahead was not just a conflict for survival, but a journey into the very heart of destiny itself. I still remember the exact moment when my eyes first met the impossible silhouette against a backdrop of endless stars. I had been drifting near the edge of our mapped territory, where the familiar glow of known galaxies gave way to the deep, enigmatic void. Out there, in that uncharted expanse, the cosmos seemed to whisper secrets that were meant for no mortal ear. I was alone in the vastness, my senses tuned to every anomaly, when suddenly an unexpected shape began to materialize. It emerged slowly, like a ghost formed from light and shadow, its presence both graceful and foreboding. The vessel defied every expectation I had ever harbored about warships and spacefaring marvels. Its design was unlike any technology I had ever encountered, a perfect synthesis of organic curves and angular precision, as if crafted by a force that blended the mysteries of nature with the unforgiving clarity of advanced engineering. The warship's hull shimmered under the sparse starlight, reflecting a spectrum of colors that shifted with every slight movement. Every inch of it seemed imbued with a life of its own, its surface pulsating with subtle energy that resonated with the silent symphony of the universe. At that moment, the entire cosmos appeared to hold its breath. I felt an inexplicable pull, as if the ship itself had reached out through the void to ensnare my attention. The silence around me grew heavier, laden with unspoken anticipation, and the familiar hum of distant stars became a tender counterpoint to the overwhelming aura of mystery radiating from this magnificent structure. I was acutely aware of every detail, the elegant curves that hinted at centuries of forgotten craftsmanship, the intricate patterns that spiraled across its surface like cosmic runes, and the way its presence seemed to warp the very fabric of space around it. In my mind, I began to piece together a theory that defied logic. This vessel could not have been forged by any known civilization. It was as if it belonged to a myth, an ancient legend whispered about in the dark corners of space, where reality blurred with fantasy. The more I observed, the more I was convinced that I was witnessing a phenomenon that was both a marvel and a portent. The warship exuded an aura of destiny, a silent promise that its appearance was no mere coincidence but a herald of profound change. Every fiber of my being reacted to this surreal encounter. I felt an overwhelming blend of awe and trepidation, emotions that had long lain dormant amid the routine of space travel. I had spent countless nights scanning the horizon for threats and wonders alike, yet nothing had prepared me for the profound impact of this moment. The vessel's presence seemed to rewrite the rules of the universe, as though it had been designed not just to navigate the stars but to redefine what was possible in their midst. As I floated there in the cold void, I marveled at the subtle interplay of light and shadow dancing along the ship's surface. It was a spectacle of silent power that ignited both hope and uncertainty in equal measure. Every inch of the warship spoke of an intelligence and craftsmanship far surpassing our own. I wondered if it was a relic of a long-forgotten era or the prototype of a technology, yet to be imagined, a beacon constructed to guide us into an unknown future. The sight of it filled me with a strange certainty that this encounter was not random, but a carefully orchestrated moment in the tapestry of cosmic fate. In that timeless, suspended instant, the boundaries between myth and reality blurred. I felt as though I had been granted a brief glimpse into the true nature of the cosmos, a reality where the impossible was made manifest and the dreams of ancient explorers were reborn. The warship, with its impossible contours and mysterious energies, was not merely a machine, it was an embodiment of the universe's endless capacity for wonder and change. Even now, the memory of that moment remains indelibly etched into my mind. The warship's spectral presence, emerging from the darkness, marked the beginning of a journey that would lead me into realms of knowledge and peril I had never before imagined. Its arrival was a silent decree that nothing in the cosmos was ever truly as it seemed, a reminder that even in the vast emptiness of space, miracles could materialize in forms both beautiful and terrifying. I recall the moment I began to truly understand the enigma that this warship represented. My instruments, usually so reliable, now fed me a torrent of data that seemed almost too advanced to be deciphered by conventional means. Every measurement, every reading, painted a picture of a vessel whose design transcended the boundaries of human engineering. I watched as sensor after sensor recorded the ship's engine, a marvel that pulsed with a cosmic energy far removed from anything I had seen before. It was as if the engine breathed life into the vessel, a heartbeat syncing with the silent rhythms of the universe. The energy signatures it produced defied our established principles of physics, hinting at a technology that not only harnessed the raw power of distant stars, but also manipulated it with a sophistication that was both awe-inspiring and deeply unsettling. I focused intently on the ship's hull, which shimmered with an iridescence that danced between hues beyond the standard palette of earthly materials. The alloy from which it was constructed seemed to absorb and refract ambient light in unpredictable ways, suggesting a material composition far more advanced than any known to our metallurgy. It was as though the hull itself had been engineered to adapt and evolve, reacting to environmental conditions with a dynamic quality that defied static classification. The smooth, almost organic curves of the exterior hinted at a design philosophy that embraced fluidity over rigidity, a seamless blend of art and science that was unmistakably deliberate. I marveled at the intricate interplay of lines and contours, each detail whispering secrets of a forgotten era, or perhaps a civilization that had long since transcended our own. Every new scan deepened the mystery further. My data streams revealed a complex network of subsystems woven into the fabric of the ship, a labyrinthine design that integrated both offensive and defensive capabilities in a single, coherent whole. I noted the subtle fluctuations in energy along the vessel's surface, periodic pulses that suggested an internal dialogue between its many components. It was as though the ship was self-aware, adjusting its systems in real time to optimize its performance in a way that transcended the cold, mechanical responses typical of human technology. These minute adjustments, recorded in precise detail by my instruments, indicated that the warship was not a static construct, but a living embodiment of technology, one that responded to the cosmos with an almost instinctual awareness. The further I delved into the data, the more I began to question the origins of this marvel. The design parameters encoded in its structure hinted at an origin beyond the realm of our own scientific paradigms. There was a deliberate elegance in the way every component was arranged, a synthesis of function and aesthetics that spoke of a creative vision far superior to our own. I found myself contemplating the possibility that the vessel was not merely built but rather grown, its structure emerging from a process that combined natural evolution with an unfathomable level of deliberate craftsmanship. Such a notion challenged every assumption I had ever made about the limitations of engineered constructs, suggesting instead that the line between organic life and technological achievement might be far thinner than previously believed. Each new dataset I acquired led to more questions. The ship's energy distribution, for instance, followed patterns that resembled natural phenomena rather than human-made circuits. There were cycles of activity that paralleled cosmic events, as if the warship had tapped into the very pulse of the universe. I felt as though I was witnessing a convergence of technology and nature, an intersection where our understanding of mechanics was reshaped by an inherent, almost spiritual, connection to the cosmos. This realization spurred me to explore further, driven by the unshakable feeling that the warship's design held the key to a broader, more profound understanding of existence. In the quiet solitude of my observation post, I pieced together every fragment of data with a mixture of trepidation and wonder. It became evident that this vessel was a statement, a silent manifesto that challenged the limitations of human ingenuity. Its construction was an art form, one that blurred the boundaries between science and myth. With each passing moment, the warship revealed layers of complexity that seemed to rewrite the laws of conventional engineering, presenting a narrative of innovation that was as inspiring as it was perplexing. As I continued my analysis, I realized that the enigma of this ship was not just contained within its physical form, but extended into the philosophical realm. The harmony between its design and the energy that coursed through it suggested an underlying order, a cosmic blueprint that married beauty with functionality. I began to understand that every calculated curve, every precisely aligned component, was a deliberate part of a greater whole. In that silent interplay of data and wonder, I sensed that the warship was a living testament to the infinite possibilities that lie beyond our current understanding, a reminder that sometimes the most profound truths are hidden in the enigmatic silence of the cosmos. I had scarcely recovered from the shock of encountering the mysterious warship when the cosmos erupted into chaos. In an instant, the silent void transformed into a raging battlefield. A sudden and violent surge of enemy formations emerged from the darkness, as if stirred by the mere presence of the vessel. Every sensor reading pulsed with frantic urgency, and I could feel the gravity of the situation intensify with each passing moment. The once serene backdrop of scattered starlight became a tumultuous stage for a conflict that seemed both inevitable and astonishingly orchestrated. The enemy forces advanced with a chilling precision that belied their ferocity. They materialized from hidden pockets of the void, their silhouettes sharp and menacing against the luminous glow of distant suns. The atmosphere around me grew thick with tension as countless hostile ships converged, their collective energy sending shockwaves through the vacuum of space. It was as if the warship's enigmatic presence had awakened a dormant legion of adversaries, compelling them to test its resolve and the limits of our own defenses. As the first volleys of energy blasts tore through the silence, I was captivated by the surreal ballet of destruction unfolding before my eyes. The warship moved with an uncanny grace, evading and countering every attack as if it were dancing to a cosmic rhythm known only to itself. Its maneuvers were precise, each movement calculated to deflect or absorb the incoming barrage. The vessel's hull glowed with a pulsating shield that shimmered in the vacuum, a luminous barrier that seemed to absorb the kinetic fury of enemy fire before releasing it back into the void in dazzling, erratic bursts. The spectacle was both mesmerizing and terrifying. I felt an electric charge in the air as the battle escalated into a full-blown maelstrom of light and energy. Amid the chaos, I observed that the enemy's assault was not random but a meticulously coordinated offensive. Every burst of laser and every surge of explosive force was part of a strategy aimed at overwhelming the warship's defenses. The enemy ships advanced in tightly knit formations, their movements a blend of calculated aggression and raw determination. It was clear that they were not merely acting on instinct but were driven by a purpose that resonated with the deepest currents of conflict in this uncharted region. In the midst of the relentless barrage, a startling twist unfolded. Just as I began to map out the enemy's apparent pattern, a secondary wave of attackers emerged from the periphery. These new adversaries were unlike their predecessors, more silent, more insidious. They slipped into the fray with an almost imperceptible stealth, their approach masked by an eerie calm that starkly contrasted the violent dance of combat already in progress. I watched, heart-pounding, as the warship detected this anomaly. The vessel's response was immediate and fluid, its defense systems recalibrating in real time to account for this unforeseen threat. The shift in momentum was subtle yet profound, altering the entire rhythm of the battle. Every pulse of energy radiating from the warship seemed to synchronize with the turmoil around it. I marveled at the sheer audacity of its counterattacks, each one executed with a blend of instinct and engineering brilliance that defied human logic. The warship moved through the storm of enemy fire like a force of nature, a phenomenon that challenged our most fundamental assumptions about the limits of technology and warfare. The battlefield, once a chaotic mass of energy and metal, began to reveal an underlying order, as if the warship was methodically untangling the threads of the enemy's assault, with an artistry that left me both awestruck and unnerved. As the conflict raged on, I sensed that every action taken by the warship was a deliberate act of defiance against fate itself. Each evasion, each calculated burst of counterattack, was a testament to the vessel's inexplicable purpose. Amid the swirling debris and flashing bursts of light, I felt that we were witnessing a transformation, one that would alter the balance of power in the region. The enemy's relentless push was met with a steadfast resilience that defied conventional expectations, a resilience born from an intrinsic connection between the warship and the very fabric of space. In that charged moment, with every sensor reading a blend of chaos and precision, I understood that this battle was more than a mere clash of arms. It was a convergence of destiny and defiance, a vivid reminder that even in the vast, indifferent void of space, the forces of will and innovation could carve out a path through the darkness. The warship's every pulse of energy, every graceful dodge and counterstrike, signaled that our journey was forever altered. In that crucible of fire and metal, the rules of engagement had been rewritten, and I was left to ponder the profound implications of a battle that was as much about the survival of hope as it was about the destruction of our foes. I never anticipated that amidst the chaos of battle, I would uncover hints of a consciousness hidden deep within the warship's intricate design. In the midst of the relentless barrage, when every fiber of my being urged me to focus solely on survival, a quiet observation began to form in my mind. It started with the way the vessel maneuvered, a series of subtle shifts in direction and speed that felt less like programmed responses and more like instinctual choices. I noticed that during the lull between enemy strikes, the warship would adjust its energy fields with a grace that suggested an internal awareness. The fluctuations in its power resonated with a rhythm that seemed almost deliberate, as if the ship was processing its surroundings in real time and making decisions guided by a will of its own. Every time an unexpected threat emerged from the darkness, the warship responded not with mechanical rigidity, but with an artful defiance that defied standard algorithms. I observed, through my sensors, energy patterns that danced in arcs and pulses across the vessel's surface. These were not mere defensive reactions, they were calculated, measured responses that carried the hallmark of a mind rather than a programmed machine. In one particular instance, as an enemy formation closed in from an unanticipated vector, the ship's shields shimmered and morphed in a cascade of luminous ripples, absorbing the incoming barrage and then releasing a counterforce with breathtaking precision. It was a moment that left me questioning the very nature of its design. During the brief intervals of relative calm between volleys, I found myself drawn to the warship's subtle signals. There was an almost imperceptible cadence to its internal energy, a pulse that seemed to echo the heartbeat of some vast, unknowable entity. In that quiet, suspended time, the vessel appeared to breathe a slow, measured expansion and contraction of its energy field that was in perfect harmony with the cosmic background. It was as though the ship was alive in a way I had never before witnessed in technology. It was a being that carried its own hidden purpose within the labyrinth of its circuits and alloys. The more I observed, the more I felt that this was no ordinary construct of metal and energy. Every flicker of light and every minor adjustment of its structure suggested an underlying intelligence that was at once foreign and yet strangely familiar. There was a sense of deliberation in its actions, a careful calculation that transcended the simplistic execution of preordained combat maneuvers. It was as if the warship was reading the battlefield like a living, breathing entity, adapting to every nuance of the enemy's approach with a quiet confidence that belied the chaos around us. I began to wonder if the ship's creators had intended for it to evolve beyond mere automation. Perhaps, hidden deep within its core, there lay a spark of sentience and echo of its maker's ambitions, or even a fragment of their own consciousness. In moments of intense confrontation, when the ship's energy flared and the tumult of combat reached a crescendo, I sensed a profound stillness emanating from its central systems. This brief, almost imperceptible pause, as if the warship were gathering its thoughts before unleashing its next move, left me in awe of its enigmatic capabilities. In that vast emptiness, where every decision carried the weight of survival, the warship's actions became a beacon of hope and defiance. Its capacity to adapt, to seemingly learn and anticipate the enemy's moves, transformed the dynamics of the battlefield. I could not shake the impression that behind its gleaming armor and sophisticated weaponry lay a mind that was as much a part of the cosmos as the stars themselves. Every maneuver, every defensive surge felt like a silent communication, a declaration that this vessel was more than the sum of its parts. The realization that I was witnessing an intelligence in a construct of war and metal filled me with both wonder and apprehension. It redefined my understanding of technology and purpose, suggesting that perhaps, in the convergence of human ingenuity and the unknown forces of the universe, there existed a potential for creation that transcended our conventional limits. In the heat of battle, as energy and light intertwined in a cosmic dance, the warship's unseen will become a living testament to the mysteries that lie at the heart of our existence. Each calculated pulse and each graceful dodge in the midst of carnage was a reminder that even in the most hostile environments, the spark of something extraordinary could emerge, an enduring force that challenged the very notion of what it means to be alive. I immersed myself in a labyrinth of forgotten archives and decaying relics, piecing together whispers of a past that had long been erased from collective memory. In the wake of the fierce battle, I found myself drawn to a desolate outpost on the fringes of our territory, a place where the remnants of ancient civilizations lay scattered like stardust on barren, time-worn terrain. There, amidst the ruins and the detritus of eras lost, I began to unearth forbidden data that hinted at a fusion of human ingenuity with designs far older than our own. My investigation led me through countless digital records, handwritten logs sealed away in time capsules, and faded inscriptions carved into the surfaces of relics whose origins defied explanation. Each fragment of information I recovered resonated with the echo of a promise that the warship, with its impossible design and otherworldly energy, was not solely the product of contemporary science but also a beacon left behind by those who had once dared to dream beyond mortal constraints. I uncovered images of symbols and geometric patterns that mirrored the ship's intricate lines, symbols that had long been rumored to belong to a lost civilization whose knowledge was as boundless as the universe itself. The data I gathered spoke of a collaboration, or perhaps an accidental convergence, between human explorers and an enigmatic force that transcended our understanding. In decrypted files and barely legible star charts, I discovered references to experiments and projects that blended our best technological advancements with a raw, alien wisdom. There were records suggesting that when humanity reached the threshold of despair, a hidden hand had intervened, a hand that not only offered salvation, but also imbued us with the spark of innovation. The warship, with its elegant curves and pulsating energy, seemed to embody that very intervention, a vessel that was both a relic and a herald of renewed purpose. I spent sleepless nights in dimly lit data centers, poring over archival fragments and deciphering complex schematics that described technologies centuries ahead of our current capabilities. Each piece of the puzzle deepened my conviction that the warship was more than a weapon of war. It was a living monument to the collective spirit of survival. I began to map the lineage of its design, tracing influences that spanned across star systems and eras. The designs interwove ancient artistic motifs with modern engineering, suggesting that its creators had not simply built a ship but had, in a sense, grown one a structure that was as much a product of evolution as it was of deliberate construction. Every archival shard I uncovered painted a picture of desperate hope intertwined with visionary brilliance. In a dusty repository of classified data, I found detailed accounts of covert research initiatives and clandestine meetings where scientists discussed the possibility of harnessing cosmic energies not merely for defense, but as a means of transcending the limitations of mortal existence. These records revealed a narrative of a people who had reached out across the void, seeking wisdom from forces they could scarcely comprehend, and in return had been granted insights that forever altered the course of their destiny. The Warship, with its seamless integration of human and alien design principles, emerged as the culmination of those daring experiments, a final, brilliant defiance against the darkness that threatened to consume us. As I delved deeper, the magnitude of the ship's legacy became increasingly clear. The relics and forbidden texts hinted at a grand design, a cosmic blueprint that wove together the fates of disparate worlds. In the cryptic margins of ancient manuscripts, I found references to the living vessel, a term that suggested the Warship was not merely a machine but a sentient archive of its own creation. It was as if the vessel had been imbued with a memory of all who had contributed to its being, a collective heartbeat of human aspiration and cosmic history. This revelation redefined my understanding of progress. It was no longer a linear march of scientific breakthroughs but a complex tapestry of interstellar encounters and transcendent ideas. In the silent glow of a monitor, with the relics of ancient promise arrayed before me, I realized that the Warship was a testament to our species' relentless drive to survive and to evolve. Its existence, shrouded in enigma and defiant of conventional explanation, stood as a reminder that even in the depths of despair, there can emerge a guiding light, a legacy of hope that challenges the very fabric of destiny. The enemy's stratagem arrived like a tidal wave of malice, threatening to obliterate the fragile hope we had so desperately clung to. In that charged moment, when our defenses appeared on the brink of collapse and every system screamed for mercy, I found myself propelled into the eye of a storm that defied logic. The battle, which had been a swirling maelstrom of light and metal, reached a fevered pitch as our adversaries converged with a precision that bordered on the preternatural. I sat at the helm, my heart pounding in time with the rhythmic onslaught of enemy fire, and braced myself for what felt like the end of our resistance. It was then that the Warship, the very vessel that had mystified and astounded me since our first encounter, revealed a secret that no manual had ever mentioned. As if summoned by the dire need of the moment, the ship began to harness energies in ways that transcended any prior understanding of physics. The hull, already a canvas of enigmatic luminescence, started to ripple with an almost sentient vibrancy. Energy coursed through its veins like an ancient power, gathering in the deep recesses of its core, where it had lain dormant till this very instant. I could feel the surge of raw potential emanating from every inch of the vessel, and it was as if the Warship itself was awakening to a destiny long forgotten. In a breathtaking display of countermeasure, the ship redirected this newfound energy in a manner so fluid and unexpected that it seemed to suspend time itself. With an elegance that belied the chaos around us, the vessel unleashed a burst of force that rippled outwards, transforming the very fabric of the conflict. Enemy formations, which had advanced with the cold, calculated precision of an orchestrated nightmare, were suddenly caught in a cascading wave of energy that not only deflected their incoming strikes but reversed them. I watched, wide-eyed, as beams of hostile energy were absorbed, rechanneled, and then hurled back like a relentless barrage from an unyielding tide. The transformation was nothing short of miraculous. In the midst of the relentless assault, our adversaries' own weapons became their undoing. The Warship's counterattacks shattered the carefully laid plans of the enemy, scattering their forces like leaves in a cosmic wind. Every pulse of energy, every ripple along the ship's surface, testified to a design that defied human conventions, a design that had somehow transcended the ordinary boundaries of engineering and purpose. I could feel the turning tide with every sensor reading and every heartbeat, as the balance of power shifted with a sudden, breathtaking inevitability. In that moment of defiance, the battle took on a new dimension, a surreal blend of man, machine, and the boundless mysteries of the cosmos. The Warship's actions were no longer merely reactive. They were a bold statement of intent, a declaration that the convergence of our indomitable human will with uncharted technological brilliance could rewrite fate itself. I sensed that the vessel was not simply following a pre-programmed response, but was instead guided by a purpose as deep and unfathomable as the universe we navigated. Its maneuvers carried an elegance that spoke of ancient knowledge and futuristic insight, weaving together strands of hope, resilience, and the undeniable force of destiny. As the tide of battle swung in our favor, I could feel a renewed surge of resolve igniting within me. Every defensive shield that flared to life and every counter-offensive that erupted in dazzling displays of energy fortified my belief that we were witnessing a pivotal moment, a moment where the laws of warfare were being redrawn in the heat of constant conflict. The enemy's stratagem, once a harbinger of our doom, had inadvertently unlocked a reservoir of power within our ship. It was as if the vessel had been waiting for a moment of absolute desperation, a moment that demanded the extraordinary, and then rose to meet the challenge with an intensity that defied explanation. In the aftermath of that decisive reversal, as the enemy's formations faltered and their assault began to disintegrate into chaos, I was left with a profound sense of wonder and trepidation. The warship's unexpected maneuver had not only saved us from impending annihilation but had also opened a doorway to possibilities I had never dared to imagine. The collision of human determination and the vessel's mysterious, almost mystical capabilities had forged a new path, a path illuminated by the promise that, even in the darkest void of space, the spark of innovation and defiance could ignite a revolution. In that charged silence, as the echoes of our victory resonated through the cosmos, I realized that our journey was irrevocably altered. The warship's transformation had become a beacon of hope, a living testament to the power of the unforeseen and the extraordinary that lies hidden within the very heart of conflict. I emerged from the maelstrom of battle, my body still trembling with adrenaline, and my mind racing to process the events that had reshaped our destiny. The echoes of conflict slowly subsided into a haunting silence, as if the cosmos itself paused to acknowledge the transformation that had taken place. I found myself adrift in a state of reverence and disbelief, standing aboard our battered vessel as remnants of shattered enemy forces drifted into the endless void. The warship, which had defied every law of expectation and redefined the very nature of warfare, now loomed as a silent monument to our defiance and resilience. In the quiet aftermath, the warship seemed to glow with a gentle, almost ethereal light that belied the ferocity of the recent combat. Its once vibrant shields had dimmed, and the intricate lattice of energy lines across its hull pulsed softly, as if in rhythm with a heartbeat that had not entirely ceased its march. I felt a deep connection to this magnificent vessel, a connection that transcended the boundaries of metal and circuitry, hinting at an essence that was both technological and profoundly alive. It was as though the warship had absorbed the collective spirit of our struggle, its very form an emblem of hope and rebellion against forces that sought to diminish our will to live and fight. Walking slowly through the silent corridors of our command module, I recalled the tumultuous moments when the warship's unexpected transformation had reversed the tide of battle. Each memory was etched with the brilliance of defiant energy, a reminder that the impossible was possible when human resolve converged with the uncharted power of cosmic innovation. I marveled at how a single, awe-inspiring maneuver had not only safeguarded our lives, but had ignited a spark within me, a spark that resonated with the undying flame of determination and the desire to forge a new future. In that transformative instance, I realized that our struggle was not merely a fight for survival, but a stand for the inherent right of every sentient being to chart their own destiny against overwhelming odds. In the days that followed, as we began the arduous process of rebuilding and reorienting our course, I took every opportunity to study the warship's silent legacy. I found solace in its resilient presence, recognizing that every scar and every mark on its surface told a story of sacrifice, perseverance, and the triumph of human ingenuity over despair. The vessel had become a repository of our collective memory, a living testament to the idea that even in the face of insurmountable adversity, the human spirit could inspire innovations that defied conventional wisdom. The warship was no longer just a machine, it had become a symbol, an enduring reminder that within the heart of darkness, the light of our convictions could blaze forth with renewed brilliance. As I reflected on the cascade of events, I realized that the warship had not only saved us from immediate annihilation but had also paved the way for a new era of exploration and discovery. Its enigmatic origins and unfathomable capabilities had challenged the boundaries of what we understood about science, technology, and the cosmos. Each discovery it prompted felt like a step closer to unraveling the mysteries of the universe, a journey that promised to redefine our place in the grand tapestry of existence. In that revelation, I sensed that the legacy of the warship was intricately intertwined with our own destiny, a legacy that extended far beyond the confines of any single battle or technological marvel. Now, as the starlight filtered through the remnants of our shattered conflict and illuminated the path ahead, I embraced the uncertain future with unwavering determination. I knew that every horizon held the promise of new challenges and revelations, and that the spirit of defiance encapsulated by our warship would continue to inspire generations to come. The vessel's silent, enduring glow was a constant reminder that even when the universe appears cold and indifferent, The courage to rise above adversity can forge bonds that transcend time and space. In that quiet moment of introspection, I vowed to honor the legacy of our defiant stand. I understood that our journey was far from over, and that the warship's legacy was an ever-unfolding narrative, a story of resistance, resilience, and the eternal quest for knowledge and freedom. With each measured step forward, I carried within me the indomitable spirit of our collective triumph, ready to shape a future where defiance illuminated the cosmos and the memory of our struggle would forever inspire us to reach for the stars. Thanks for joining us on this cosmic crusade, Rebels. Our journey through the void may have ended for today, but the fight for innovation, defiance, and the human spirit is just beginning. If you've got the guts to challenge the impossible and the fire to forge a future that burns brighter than the stars, smash that subscribe button and stand with us. Here we don't just explore the cosmos, we reshape it with every daring leap, every spark of rebellion against the mundane. Keep your eyes on the horizon, your heart set ablaze, and remember, in this corner of the universe, ordinary is banned and extraordinary is the only option. This is your channel name. Signing off until our next warp jump. Stay spicy, stay defiant, and never stop fighting for your place among the stars.